No excuses today. Fight for the shit. What you got inside, is that all you got to give?
Welcome all. This is the Australian Indie Wrestling Show. Fellow wrestlers, trainees, event support staff, friends, foes, and everyone in between. If you have a question, well, this is the wrong show, because with us is Ilia. Now get that right. Say it with respect. Ilia, how are you, my friend? The Don, how are you, my friend? Joined by Ilia. So, how do you pronounce your name? I think I've got the pronunciation down right, but correct me if I'm wrong, because I've heard variations from ring announcers and commentary teams across the country, throughout the world, shall we say.
Yeah, so the way you pronounce it in Greek is Ilia. It's more like elongated.
Yep.
Whereas I think what you've been hearing, because I've been hearing it as well, is a lot of people will say Ilia.
Yep, I've been doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I will admit straight away, I went straight to the Ilia, but I'm glad I know how to say it properly now. Ilia.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Absolutely. It's just a little minute thing, you know. It seems to be one of these names that's consistent across cultures.
Yeah.
And it's obviously going to be pronounced differently depending on where you are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you run the risk by having a culturally specific name of having some mispronunciations here and there, so yeah.
Well,
Ilia.
as you say, you say it's minute, but it's not minute. It's the name you're going by, and it's the only name you're going by in wrestling now. Tell us a bit about that, how that's come about.
Since I've been wrestling, I was always Eli Theseus, and the Eli Theseus character was the name and the persona and the personality and everything was part of the tag team, the Parea, as what I'm most known for.
Mm-hmm.
And so when the tag team was no more, I felt the need to come up with a new. It was just kind of a trend. It was like I wanted to take the parts of Eli Theseus that people knew and that I resonated with and I liked, and just kind of put a fresh coat of paint on it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because
like when Shawn Michaels left the Rockers.
Yeah, like the Parea wasn't broken. There was nothing. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that tag team or that group or that brand. It just made sense to me at the time to take what I was already doing and just give it a fresh coat of paint. And the story behind coming up with the name was, so my name in real life is Elijah, and I'm named after my great grandfather who was in Greece, and his name was Ilia, right?
Yep.
And most Greek kids of my generation, they all have English names that have like Greek translations. A lot of them do, and a lot of Greek kids are named after saints or prophets.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you were to get like a Catholic Bible or a Greek Orthodox Bible, Prophet Ilia would be Prophet Elijah in the English version. So, my parents wanted to name me after my great grandfather, but they wanted me to have just a normal English name as well, right? So they named me Elijah, but my name in Greek is Ilia. So I've probably been called Ilia in my life growing up just as much as I have been called Elijah, because when I'm with my Greek family, a lot of them call me Ilia. Yeah. And so a part of changing my persona for wrestling was I wanted to just be myself, because I think that wrestling lacks a lot of authenticity these days.
Mm-hmm.
And I just wanted to be me, because I think that just being you is enough, because we're trying to tell stories.
Yeah.
And the best stories are stories about real people, and who I really am is just me. Yeah. So I'm just Ilia, So one word was enough. And then I added the prophet moniker as well. And there was a time where I was calling myself Ilia Propheti as well, which is like the prophet Ilia in Greek. But I'm kind of trying to get away from calling myself that now because I don't really want to come across like I'm saying that I'm a prophet. You know what I mean? Because I'm not. I'm just a normal guy. You know what I mean? Who's engaging in wrestling. So, you know, I call myself the prophet still, but I'm just Ilia. You know, and that's where that came from.
Yeah.
So do you feel more yourself than you have in previous incarnations then, right now?
Well, I feel like I've always been myself, but there's always been that part of me when you're chasing the dragon where you've got to suppress certain aspects of your personality because certain people might make you feel like you don't want to show that because that might be detrimental.
Mm-hmm.
But I've kind of seen how the sausage is made now, and I don't really give a fuck what anyone thinks of me anymore, to be honest. So I just want to be me and be authentic, and that was kind of how that transition occurred. But I do love Eli Theseus and what Eli Theseus was and represented. In the few performances I have had as Ilia, there are minute differences, and then there are some major differences. But I love Eli, and I love the body of work that I created as Eli, and I loved embodying Eli. And Eli was more of a Greek mythology character, as well as being like a representation of my community, like in some of the more exaggerated stereotypes.
Yeah.
You know, whereas Ilia is just a bit more like it's not as played up. I'm just kind of just being myself and saying it how it is, you know.
Doing like the exaggerated stereotypes, that helps to get looks, but then once people are looking at you, then you can refine it and make it your own and travel your specific path rather than going, hey, look at this larger than life specific character. Again, that gets the attention and it allows you to make mistakes as you're doing it as well, because it's the beginning of your wrestling, and then now that you've made those mistakes and you've learned from them, and now you can refine it. And too many people in wrestling come in thinking it's going to be like, big time end of game sort of style character, but it's no, you've got to start somewhere, and then as you learn about yourself, especially young, you started quite young, so like you have to navigate your life as well as wrestling and really find out who you are so that you can portray that as a character. So do you feel like that's sort of where you're at now? You've sort of answered a few life questions and you're sort of getting to where you know who you are more now?
Definitely, and I've had to answer a lot of really serious life questions, like in the hardest ways possible in the last couple of years. And that's just helped inform just who I am authentically as an individual, outside of wrestling as well.
Yeah.
And it's helped to refine my value system and my morals as well. And then that's going to also steer the content creating shit. It's gonna steer how I portray myself as a performer, because there's certain lines that I've now drawn that I'm not willing to cross. And that having that transition from the Parea to a singles wrestler, a lot of it is just certain lines that I'm not willing to cross as a man. And that's that you then parlay that into the character as well. How does that then make the character stand,
And how they interact with what's happening around them. Yeah, no, 100%.
Exactly.
That's good.
Yeah.
You said the allure of the roar of the crowd has always got you. You've been quoted as saying that in a couple of your interviews. Now you're back in Australia, based in Adelaide. You're back from Greece and the USA. Like, what are your goals now, mate? What are you hoping to do? You started training at Riot City. You trained with Lance Storm. And you've been on AEW. What's left, mate?
I think a really important place to get as a wrestler is to take away expectation and just get back to play. So I'm kind of at that place now where I just want to be in that flow state when I'm engaging in wrestling and not look so linearly, you know, and just be in the present moment, as cliche as that sounds. But yeah, I've actually been off. I haven't wrestled for about 2 months, to be honest with you. I had so when I came back to Australia from Greece last year, it's almost a year ago now, it's 11 months ago, I was like straight back into the fire, and I was like very much like searching for a certain outcome. You know, there was like kind of some like a retribution aspect to it all, of like wanting to like, you know, get the momentum going back in my favor after things not going well in the US. And so I was like straight back into the fire. I had a couple of MCW bookings. I came over to Perth for extra work at Monday Night Raw, and I did that outdoor event for EPW and had a couple of matches there.
Yeah.
And then that was it. I just decided that I needed to take a break because everything felt really forced. It just felt like I was like trying to like stay at a certain level, and that wasn't, it just wasn't what I wanted, wasn't materializing. And for whatever reason, I just decided the best thing to do at that time was to just take a break. So I ended up taking from October, I was like end of October was the last time I wrestled. And then I took from November all the way through till the start of April off completely. Like wasn't on social media. I wasn't training. I wasn't promoting myself. I just disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
And then I came back for the World Series tour that happened in May, and that was like all in again. You know, like just I basically did like a 6-week camp to prep for that, and then I did the tour. I just did Adelaide and then the 2 Melbourne shows, and then they didn't take me to Sydney. But then I think just all the time away and all of the kind of stress and anxiety building up to it, it was just a lot for my body to handle all at once, because I hadn't had that conditioning. Yeah. And my body was like really banged up at the end of that tour, like really, really, really banged up. Like, and I work with a great physio here in Adelaide, motion theory physio, and they look after me really well down there. They've been supporting me on this journey back to the ring. My physio Alex has just said, like, you know, I won't say what the injury is that I'm struggling with, but it's just something that you know, I want to take seriously at my age, you know, especially if I want to have longevity. So I've been off for 2 months, and in that time, I've just been focused on other things. And as far as to circle back to your question, as far as my goals are concerned, I don't really have any, to be honest with you. I just want consistency. That's it. I don't have like, I'm kind of done with living that lifestyle of like setting these lofty goals and expectations around wrestling.
Yeah.
It hasn't served me well, to be honest. It's probably done more damage than it's done good. So like, of course, if AEW rang me tomorrow and said, we want to sign you to a, you know, $250K 3-year deal, and fly you over to fucking Jacksonville and get you started, then of course I'd take it, you know?
Yeah.
But if, you know, Riot City are like, you know, we're gonna get you back in the mix on our next show, then I'm like, all right, well, I'm down. Let's do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm just not. I've realised I
Have you had those
enjoy.
calls? Have you had those
What's-
calls now that people know you're back? Have you had those calls? You've got to
not
have people
really.
reaching out. Really?
Not really. Not really. Nah, not really. Riot City is a different story because that's like that's home. You know,
Mhm.
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I can just
Walk
kind
in.
of.
Yeah.
I'm part of the furniture there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So like that's a different story, and they want to have me back.
Yeah.
I'm just not ready. So I'll be back there soon. Hopefully,
Awesome.
stay tuned.
Yeah.
See what happens. Hopefully soon, ASAP. But outside of that, nothing's really happening for me, boys. I'm under no illusions that all of my stock was in this tag team that I built for about a decade. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's hard to just assert yourself into the mix as a singles wrestler when people are used to seeing you as a tag team guy.
Yeah.
And
Almost like you got to reprove yourself. Even though you've proved yourself, it's almost like you've
Yeah.
got to go, hey, I can do this over here. You've seen me do it over there, you know, but is that how you sort of feel, or?
big time.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But people need to realize at all levels of this game how quickly forgotten you'll be. Like people will just you're gone, and it doesn't really make a difference when you're gone.
Yeah.
You know, and that's where having like balance in life and being a grounded individual, and then when sort of faith and things of that nature come into the mix as well, is like you're so expendable in wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Like even at the highest level, like they're just going to move on. It's just a machine that is just going to keep on turning. So
Yeah.
I've gotten to see all of that firsthand, and it's made me take my foot off the gas a little bit, because I've just gone, well, like this is not worth my sanity sometimes. You know,
Yeah.
I need to keep, like, I need to realize what else I value in life.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so that doesn't mean that I'm not going to put my best foot forward to do well in wrestling. I just don't
Yeah.
look at it from through the same lens anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
for
mate,
sure.
you're not the first person to think that way as well. You know, who's come back from being churned through the machine, shall we say? But you did mention you were you did your work for World Series Wrestling, 3 dates, and how was that? Kind of like, how's the World Series Wrestling? Because that gets good press from the guys overseas. Like they're always really happy that they're on World Series Wrestling and tweeting about it.
It was good. I wish I could have been a bit more present, to be honest. There was a bit going on, unfortunately, and you know, I had to navigate that while there was a lot, especially that first night in Adelaide. It was like some plans changed the week of, and some matches had to be moved around, and that was how we got to where we got. But man, if I could bottle that feeling of just being out there at, we were at the Adelaide Entertainment Centre in the function room, and which seats, I think it could seat up to about 2,000 to 3,000 people. It's a massive venue.
Yeah.
And I think he had about 1,600 or 1,700 in there.
Yeah.
And there was this ginormous, I don't know if you saw any vision of it, but they built this ginormous stage.
Yes.
And it rivaled a WWE stage in its scale. And you know,
Definitely better than a house show.
Yeah,
Definitely
literally
better than the WWE house shows that we get. You know.
Yeah.
Like,
That's right. That's
massive.
right.
Yeah,
And
massive.
yeah, it was a huge spectacle, and that was my first match back after 7 months off. I've been blessed enough to be in some pretty big, you know, situations. So it wasn't that wasn't the difficult part. And I got to wrestle Gallows and Anderson, who were fantastic. And I always looked up to them as a tag team and everything. So that was definitely a bucket list item ticked off there.
Yeah.
But I essentially had to wrestle the whole match on my own, because my ex tag team partner had a torn hamstring, so
Yeah.
I did the whole match on my own, which was also great. To be honest, I didn't have any issue with that at all because I got more ring time with those two.
Yeah.
And we really just listened to, we really just were very present and just listened to the crowd and just really flowed in there. And I thought we told a really good story. And so that night was really good. And then the fallout from that was not ideal. And then we got to the 2 nights in Melbourne, and I had some singles matches. I was in a triple threat and then a 4-way on the final night, and I really enjoyed those matches. But I was just under a lot of pressure, so it was stressful.
Of course. Yeah.
What do you mean the fallout was not ideal? Because like I was watching it and I was surprised to see you guys break up in Adelaide on the first night when you're on more nights of the tour, to be honest. But of course, now we know,
the injury.
Yeah, well, he tore his hamstring the week of the show when he was here in Adelaide, so he couldn't wrestle. So that changed the trajectory of the tour because people don't realize that he has these shows booked, like the matches booked, and if one piece of that puzzle is removed, you've got to rearrange the entire picture.
Yeah.
So I ended up being inserted into, I think the matches I got inserted into in Melbourne were not the same, were not the original plan. I think I got put into a singles match, which then became a triple threat, because I was already, all my itinerary and everything was already booked, And so you just got to keep rolling with the punches. That's the nature of the game.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a small, like, your local feds, if something goes wrong, you throw someone else in there. But that's like a big tour, like that and as well, like the respect of, the guys, like not just cancelling the rest of your trip, just like, we that happened, you guys don't worry about it, we'll find someone else. And it shows the level of respect that World Series has for you and the tag team, like, hey, he's still here, let's put him in something else. So I feel like that, from my point of view, I don't know, from internally, it seems very, very good that there's a lot of respect there from that company.
Sure. And the other thing people don't realize too, especially with World Series, is because of the nature of it, a big component of the draw card is the meet and greets. So like, there might have been people that bought a meet and greet ticket to come and see a certain person, right? So even though he had torn his hamstring, he was still at all the meet and greets, and people were coming to his table to buy merch and take pictures with him and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So like, he was still a draw card in that respect, even though he couldn't be physical in the ring. You know what I mean? So like, that's where a good promoter can kind of roll with the punches and get a return on their investment. You're still having that person there present at the event, and then you can insert them into different parts of the show if need be. So
Well, speaking of World Series tag title defenses, we had this question sent in to us by our friend Michael Lee. There was a rumor going around it was Rhea Ripley helping record in the bodysuit. So maybe you can confirm or deny that.
Well, I can't confirm nor deny, to be perfectly honest with you. They were back there somewhere in a separate room to me, and I wasn't anywhere near them. So I was just warming up for my match and to defend my title. And there was an entire entourage following the streamer around to film his content for the night. And I came to represent Parea, which is what was promoted to the fans, and that's why a lot of people came. They came to see the Parea, and they only got half the Parea, and they got some other bullshit going on off to the side with somebody in a mask walking around holding a tripod, filming somebody carrying on. So don't know who it was under the hood. Couldn't give a shit, to be honest with you. I was just there there to focus on what I had to deal with.
Yeah.
And then I was left there by myself in the middle of the ring anyway at the end of it. So yeah.
Well, speaking about the ring, you might have seen the recent Dark Side of the Rings. Now, you've worked with Jeff Jarrett before. Tell us about that.
I didn't work with him really.
Yeah, you've worked alongside.
Yeah. So like, is that I haven't seen that episode. Is that in relation to his him getting sober and everything of that?
Yeah. It's all about. It's all open in the air. Yep.
Yeah. Well, that was a really long time ago. That was actually when I was in Calgary to doing Lance Storms, and there was a local show that we went to try and get booked. Like that was what we were doing. We were just going every weekend that there was like a show. We'll just rock up there without gear and just be like, "Hey, like we're here doing Lance Storms. Can we get on the show?" And they were like, "Oh, like nah, you guys like." It was either like, "Yeah, you can work," or "Nah." So we I remember we were backstage and Jeff Jarrett was there, and he was having a good time. Let's just say, like he was having a good time back there, and I think in his moment of fun, he thought it would be a good idea to rally like a few of the the trainees from the Storm Wrestling Academy and like get us to like accompany him to the ring.
Oh, cool.
For his match. Except like when it was time for his match, like we were accompanying ourselves out to the ring. Let's just say.
Yeah.
He didn't really make it out. Like they played his music. They had to play his music like 3 times before he came out, and the guy he was wrestling was like in the ring having to kind of improvise and took the mic and was like, "Oh, Jeff's, he's not coming out here because he's too scared to get in the ring with me," and rah, and he was like just kind of healing it up, trying to keep the people interested. And then finally on like the 4th attempt, like Jeff came out, and it was honestly hard to watch, to be fair. Like I'm sure, and he got, credit to him. He was inebriated to the point where like there's absolutely no way he should have been in a wrestling ring, but credit to him, he got in there and did what he was being paid to do. And then like I think the way that it was all kind of laid out was that like they were going to jump him and then like we were going to slide in and save the day, and then I think that was what happened. There'd be video of it somewhere. But he was a very nice man, and we took some photos and we were having a laugh backstage and everything, and at the time I was like 21, so like I didn't kind of realize like the severity of it. I just thought, oh, this is just wrestling.
Of course not. You'd be enamored. You know what I mean? This is Jeff Jarrett, man. Like, who cares what he fucking does? Let's just be around it. You know what I mean? Like, so.
That's it. Yeah, and then I think it was actually the week after it like kind of came out on like a TMZ or whatever, like some kind of dirt sheet that he'd admitted himself into rehab. So that was that, and then like the year after, it was like the year after or maybe 2 years after, he did his whole Hall of Fame induction and everything, and then he had that kind of. Did he have like a little run, or he was like on a few
he's on a couple of shows.
Yeah. I think that was kind of where he ended up after all that happened.
Yeah.
So whatever.
Yeah.
He was really nice, and like there's a photo of us somewhere. I think it might be on my Instagram somewhere, but he was a very nice man, and it was just a very strange situation.
Yeah. Understandably, man. Yeah.
If Jeff Jarrett was really nice, who was a dick?
Oh, look.
I didn't have to answer that.
There's you know what I will say is there's plenty of them. There's plenty of them.
Yep.
There's plenty of, there's this complex in wrestling where like you are the sun and all the solar system revolves around you, that a lot of people have.
Yeah.
And it's tiresome.
Yeah.
Is all I'll say. So sometimes I don't miss being around certain people and certain places, certain things.
Yeah. No, it's also very much and I've seen this over time. A lot of people try and not what is it? They cover up their weaknesses by attacking other people's weaknesses. So if they're putting other people down, it's like they feel like they're no one will see their weaknesses, if that makes sense. Like, and I see a bit of that. They walk around with a chip on their shoulder, and they will shit on this person or that person because they think in their mind they're above them, so they have to keep them there so they can stay in that thing. And it's the worst attitude, 100%. Like, you can't be walking around a locker room shitting on people because you just never know where that person's going to end up. You know what I mean? They might not be the greatest today, but you just never know where you'll end up and they'll end up. So it's just not advisable.
Yeah, and it's a lot of people trying to, like, they're so defensive of the position that they've found themselves in that they've got to like almost justify it every which way, you know.
Yeah.
And part of that is them, you know, verbally like telling everybody that they like how great they are all the time, and it's just it's unfortunately the nature of wrestling, you know.
Yeah, I've even had problems with production people and photographers that have attitudes like that. They've got to like justify their position week in and week out, and it's just like, dude, we're all here to have fun and enjoy ourselves, you know. Like,
Put on a good show.
put on a good show.
Absolutely. I think where it comes from, boys, is like everyone that starts, they all start because they want to go to WWE. They want to like live that dream. Like that's always in the back of everyone's mind. Like it's just the reality of it. And so as you kind of progress through that journey, some people just kind of develop this ego that is so insatiable, you know, they just can't like let it go, you know. It's rough.
I've seen you've been making more content recently, mate, getting the stuff out there. Well, one of the stuff we picked up on was advice for wrestlers. That's going really well, you know. So what made you think it's time I start helping out and giving back, and what made you choose that format?
I've got an inner circle, as most people do, of people that I seek counsel with and people that I go to for advice for certain aspects of my life. And somebody in my life right now has sort of pulled me more towards reigniting the passion for the crafts. And one of the ways of doing that is just kind of telling my story and sort of spreading my message and letting my voice be heard. You know, a lot of people, there's this sickness in society today where everyone's very, very much like afraid to speak their mind, you know, because they're worried about the repercussions of something that they might have to say. Like, how are we supposed to like progress as a community if we can't have discourse on things? You know, like, how are you supposed to help anyone like learn and see your point of view if you can't bring points of views to the table and discuss ideas, you know? So as being somebody who's been pursuing wrestling for my entire adult life, I've always had that voice in the back of my head of like, maybe don't say this or maybe don't do that because it might upset a certain person, you know, or it might not bode well for you in the future with like getting a contract or something like that, because they'll like, you know, and it's just, I don't like that hierarchy of power of like, you can't say what you want to say, you know what I mean? So part of the content I've been doing lately is just been finding my voice and reminding myself that I do have a lot of experience, which has been curated into knowledge that I can impart on other people, and just finding the play in wrestling again and just not having expectation of some sort of outcome all the time, you know? So it started as I was sort of telling stories from my early rise in wrestling. And then I did a video, it was just a random idea. It was like, well, what are some things that people could take on to help them progress through their journey in wrestling? And that video was received really well. And so I thought, well, I'll do another one. And then the next one that I did went like borderline viral. Like it has like 11,000 views.
Yeah.
And I gained like 150 followers from it.
Awesome.
Very
Like,
cool.
in the span of a week.
Yeah.
And it was people from all over the place. Like there's been wrestlers from America reaching out to me and saying, hey, like if I ever have any questions, could I DM you? And I said, absolutely, you can, you know. And people just ask me things that I take for granted, things that you just realize, like, oh fuck, like there was a time where I didn't know that, but now I do.
Yep.
You know, and there's someone who has the same aspirations that I do that has no way of knowing this piece of knowledge until now.
Yep.
So it's been very rewarding in that regard, and I've just had to remind myself that it's not for like these videos are not for established people. They're not for people that already may have acquired that knowledge. They're for people that don't have that. So it's just sort of taking some mentoring that I do behind the scenes that no one knows about. The trainings that I run or that I help out with at Riot City, there are certain people that I'm a bit more hands-on with because they're at that level now where they're kind of needing a bit more fine-tuning. So it's just taking my mentoring that no one sees in the gym and bringing it, you know, to the forefront. And just also as well, like when I went to America, I was having a conversation with somebody one time and they said the best example to show you what the state of Australian wrestling is the fact that you two, as in me and Tommy from the Parea, are running trainings. And I was like, well, what's that supposed to mean? It's like, well, you two, you know, we've established that you two don't know anything. And I'm just like, well, I only know what I know. You know what I mean? And how we can't all be at a level where like we have the knowledge to impart and the wisdom to impart of like AJ Styles. You know what I mean? Like we all just know what we know, and iron's just gonna sharpen iron in that respect. So after that person said that to me, for the longest time I kind of believed it, and I was like, oh yeah, well I guess he's right. You know, like what, you know, in comparison to him, like what do I know? But then through my experiences, I've realized like there are things that I've had the opportunity to do that a lot of aspiring wrestlers that I have access to couldn't even fathom at this point in time, you know? So I'm just feeling obligated to give back, and I enjoy doing it, and I don't expect anything in return.
That's good. I'm still fucking like tripping out. They're like, oh, the state of Australian wrestling, if you're training people and we've established that you know nothing, bro, I'd have been getting stabby. Like I'd have lost my mind. Like I don't know the context or the specific circumstance, but the fucking arrogance to say that and not try and help and be like, hey, like, and to direct that at someone instead of like, and again, not knowing anything about the rest of Australian wrestling, just like, oh, you train people, you know, like that. Oh, dude, that when that came out of your mouth, my blood boiled. I was like, oh,
yeah,
that's
and like to frame it even more, the way that this person started that point was they're creating a lot of monsters down in Australia, meaning like there's a bunch of guys in Australia that think that they're entitled to more, and they're not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there's been a lot of discussion lately, just that I've been seeing on the socials surrounding. Well, one person in particular is Adam Brooks. You know,
Yeah.
like, how can you justify to anybody? And I'm saying this like with all sincerity and all seriousness. How can you justify to anybody that he's not worthy of being under contract and being on television?
Yep.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like this is where there's a lot of fugazi around the work ethic aspect of this industry. You know, like there is a checklist of boxes you need to tick, and if you just tick all those boxes, then you will be rewarded, then you'll be successful. Yet there are people time and time again that just, they tick the box, they add more things, they tick those boxes, then they rip the list up and set it on fire, and there's still a reason that the door is slammed in their fucking face. You know what I mean? And that's been a big point of contention for me with just with pursuing this, you know, at a level where like you're trying to get it to put food on the table. You know? And so when you then go over there in a capacity where you can do a little more, because I was there on a visa and the visa's ongoing. I'm about halfway through it. And those kinds of things are being said to you, like, oh, they're creating a lot of monsters in Australia. They all think that they're better than what they are and that they're entitled to more. It's like, well, we're just a victim of our circumstances. Yeah. Because we have fantastic wrestlers here. And like this stuff doesn't just happen by accident. Yeah. Like the amount of time that people have to sacrifice to make this thing go round. Yeah. For absolutely no reward. Yeah. Right? Of course we're gonna eventually expect more. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's been an inspiration behind the aspiring wrestler content. Is I just want people to know that, like, you know, it isn't just this, like, you're not chasing this unicorn that is somehow going to lead you into prosperity. It's a real treacherous path that you're taking to try to go to the highest level. Yeah. So take caution. Yeah. And enjoy it while you can. Yes. Yeah,
definitely. As opposed to your former tag team partner, you're taking a bit of a different route on social media. Do you think you'd ever go the TikTok challenge route in future? No. I'm pretty sure you wouldn't, hey? Like absolutely not. Yeah. Absolutely.
It's hard enough for me that I'm creating short form content. Yeah. I'm not a fan of contributing to this attention deficit sickness that society is riddled with now. You know, but at least if you're going to come across my short form content, it's going to be educational. It's not brain rot. There's a concept called I forget the gentleman's name. I wish I knew it, but he's a behavioral psychologist, and there's this concept called reticular activation, which is where, you know, seeking boredom will actually allow you to activate certain aspects of your brain that you can't otherwise switch on when you're constantly checking your phone. And like the average person checks their phone I think 220 times a day, something like that. Yeah. Myself included. I'm terrible for my phone. Yeah. But something I try to do is to make sure that what I'm consuming is not garbage. Yeah. Like if you were to see my algorithm, it's all curated in a way where it's stuff that's educational and informative to me, you know? So yeah, I'm not a fan of the trend that wrestling's taken, where you've got to kind of lower yourself to a lower intelligence frequency to capture people's attention and to carry on in a certain way. It's just not my cup of tea. Yeah.
Well, speaking of carrying on, What do you think about the 60 companies within Australia? Did you know there's 60 companies in Australia, wrestling companies that run events?
60.
60.
Yeah,
Nah, didn't know that. I could probably name 10.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah.
That's
Yep.
it. No, we did a deep dive and found every little nook and cranny of Australian wrestling, and there is legitimately no, because I'd say
61?
60 because I think one fell off and then another one started, and
Yeah.
I can't say they're all quality, but
Nah, of course they're not.
yeah,
How could they
Yeah.
be?
yeah,
How could they be?
yeah,
You know, like each state's got like a cornerstone, you know,
Yep.
or two
yeah,
that are like the established promotion,
Yeah.
and whatever else is going on. You see, the thing is that's the norm in the United States and in North America in general. Like you're encouraged to get as many reps as you can, no matter where they are. And a lot of these guys in the indies are in those hotbed areas, like the Northeast, for example, are all wrestling 2 and 3 and 4 times a week.
yeah.
But how could those reps be quality? You know?
You mentioned cornerstone, like promotions. Is that what bookings you're looking for, or because you're not obviously not going to lower the bar of where you were before?
So I haven't really thought about it, to be honest with you. Like,
Yep.
I mean, look, if I had it my way, let me present a perfect hypothetical for you, right? Which I'm not
Yeah.
afraid to say. All right.
Let's do it.
If I had it my way, I'd be wrestling at if I was in Adelaide, a Riot City, and maybe wrestle Rampage. And then if I was in Perth, EPW, NHPW, because I was the king of NHPW for a period of time. I'm sure we'll go into that.
Yep.
If I was in Sydney, I'd PWA. If I was in Melbourne, MCW, maybe PCW.
Yeah.
And maybe there's another one or I'd throw in there. But like, I just like, you know, I'm at a point now where I'm only going to get better if I wrestle people that are better than me.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'm getting a little bit tired of, and I'm all for it because I do it, but I'm a little bit tired of wrestling people that are not up to my skill level.
Yeah.
Because they say that's going to get you to get better and get experience because you've got to cover other people's bases and things like that. But I would like somebody to teach me something crazy and push me to a level that I've never been able to go to before.
Yeah.
You know, I kind of had that in May on the World Series tour.
Yes.
I had a match. I had a triple threat with Moose and man like DeReiss. I don't know if you guys have heard of him.
I have heard of man like DeReiss. He's
making waves on the just on the indies and you know,
he's from the UK and getting right around, getting as much as he can. Yeah,
that's right. We had like what you would call a work rate match, and I didn't really give a shit about any of the storytelling components or if anything made sense or anything like that, because I just wanted to get like a really good rep in of just go action.
Yeah.
And just kind of feel what that feels like on the body physically. And so, but then the fun part about it, and this is where I think I set myself apart from a lot of people, is like when you're in that kind of capacity where everyone just wants to go balls to the wall, from bell to bell.
Yeah.
I can really easily adapt to like being the unlikable person in that match. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I knew, I was like, I'm not going to be able to match these two, and I could tell when we were working that no matter what I did, sort of in wrestling moves wise, I wasn't going to be able to match them. So I was like, oh well, maybe how I can contrast them with if I just dance, you know. then that's going to contrast them beautifully. And then
Yeah.
if I can hit one of them in the nuts uncharacteristically out of nowhere, then that's going to contrast them. You know, so I like to play with these things when I am having a bit more of a work rate match. I like to try and implement some sort of storytelling elements where I can. But those guys were able to elevate me to a level that I felt I haven't really been before, because I've been in a tag team for pretty much my entire career. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's where I'm at with like bookings and stuff. Like I want to wrestle with the guys that are heaps better than me so I can get better.
Yeah. Yeah. That's fair enough. Like you work with plenty of people over time where you've helped bring them up as well. Like when does that now, you don't want to get stuck doing that, because then that sort of limits your ceiling. You know what I mean? That caps you where you're at. If you're working with people who are better, then it's only going to raise your ceiling as well. So that's really cool. Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
Well, speaking of working with people better, why don't you guys tell us about your triple threat match you guys had at NHPW?
Killer.
The tag match, yes, very cool. No, that was great. Well, for me anyway, that was great fun. I'd heard of the Parea, and I was like, oh, these young kids are killing it. They're going all over the place. I just remember working, and we're in the heat, and you guys were beating us down, and then I was waiting for that moment of like, I just relax, engage the crowd, but you guys were in that young work rate, like, let's just keep moving, let's keep going. I was like, oh, that's cool, like we'll just keep going, like, but I had a great time. I don't know about yourself, man.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was at a time where we were starting to like we got to actually figure out how to like, instead of just doing what we know works, we got to start experimenting and being a little bit more present. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I think what a lot of people do when they start to build momentum, when like the phone's starting to ring and you're being brought here, there, and everywhere, and you're getting a push in all the different, you know, promotions that you're working in and stuff like that, is you're so quick to turn to what you know works, and then the experimenting aspect goes out the window.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
100%.
You know,
No.
So that's, you know, that's probably what was going on there.
Yeah.
And we were just all tunnel vision towards our goals.
Yeah.
And not being particularly present, you know.
Yeah, but
I remember.
Yeah.
I remember that whole thing just being really fun.
Oh, yeah, so much fun. Yeah.
It was always fun over there in Perth with you guys at NHPW.
Yeah, no, just and there's such big characters as well. Like for us as well, we were doing something a little different. That whole thing for us was an experimental tag team. Me and Kyle were just like, fucking, let's just go
like
hard.
The Mega Powers.
Yeah, essentially like throwback Mega Power stuff.
It was fun.
And then with you guys just being the snarky little fucking talk shit kind of like heels and stuff. It was just really great fun. But again, because you guys were only like a year or so in, weren't you? At that point,
was that like, when was that, like 2022, I think?
Many years go by. CTE is not real, but like it was a minute ago. But
I first worked for NHPW in 2022.
Yeah, I think
it would have been like 2022, 2023.
Yep.
I think.
Yep.
So if it was then, I would have been wrestling for 7 years.
Oh, really? Okay, my bad.
I started in 2015.
Yep. And you guys straight in.
I'm 30 now.
So, but did you guys were you guys straight away in a tag team?
Pretty much, yeah. We've been in a tag team since 2016.
Yeah. Oh, but I think maybe that was, you guys were just starting to get more notice. That's probably why I thought.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's what it was, because we'd only really wrestled in Riot City up until coming out of COVID.
Yep.
And then like once that, like the door was kind of kicked all the way open to where like there was no more restrictions at all anymore. We were just off to the races.
Yeah.
So that checks out with what you were saying.
Because again,
like
it was just like you guys were like, again, in the ring, fine, everything clean, neat, tidy. There was interaction, but I just remember there was like I felt like there was that moment during the heat where like, this is your guys' chance to just fuck around. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like you say, you were like, no, this is our shit. We're gonna do it.
Yeah.
And then I was like, that's cool. Like, but we had
Yeah.
had a great time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That was a big problem we had for a few years was like, we were like, we used to not plan anything in our heat.
Mm-hmm.
And then it got sloppy. So then we started planning everything in our heat.
Yep.
To the point where it was too regimented.
Yep.
Because we never wanted to. We had a phase there for about a year where we were really scared of things looking, like looking sloppy. Or like not looking like. So we needed to always have a plan. You know, we was like, all right, well, then we'll hit this sequence. It wasn't always just hitting moves. It was like going to a certain sequence that we knew, as if you were planning a spot on the back end of your match, right? You knew that when you sequence it in a certain way, it's going to elicit a certain reaction. So we were like really trying to do that during our heat. And then towards the end, we'd really found like a nice middle ground, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And just, kill it. Like, after that, I was like, I'll never get to wrestle those guys again. They're too good now.
Oh,
nah,
not at all. Not at all.
Yeah.
It's just the only thing preventing us from probably working more is just the fact that, like, this is just the thing with Australia is like it's so enormous.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
The tyranny of distance.
Yeah.
You guys, it's so difficult for you guys over in WA to and vice versa to get from A to B.
It's
cheaper, especially now.
It's cheaper to fly to Bali than it is to fly to Melbourne for us in Perth. Like, it's just, it's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's tough.
Yeah. Just you got to move. So that's it. Shifting. I'm moving to Melbourne, and then I can do all the East Coast. Yeah.
Just move to Adelaide, man. You have a much better time.
Yeah. Nice.
I keep telling him to move territories, and he doesn't listen. Maybe he'll listen to you. Hey.
Yeah. Move to Adelaide, man. You like it much more.
Yeah. Good times. I love it.
20-minute city.
Yeah. Nice.
Well, both being tag team specialists, that's not the only thing you both share. Ilia, you were on a short film role recently, and Don, and an extra on the Australian vampire TV show Firebite. Is that right? Shot in South Australia. Yeah.
Yeah. Firebite was about 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And I think it's come out. Did it come out? I've never seen it.
I have to look for it. But have you done any other acting or extra work? Because Don was an extra on Home and Away.
Killer. That's the best.
I was like, just in the background, they were walking down across Elizabeth Quay Bridge, but I was on TV, brother, I swear.
Yeah, well, the Firebite one was interesting because they had me in like full prosthetics. I had to go and get teeth made.
Yeah.
And there was like a full mold they had to do. It's kind of like, did you ever get like a mouth guard made for footy or something?
Yeah,
it was like that. And they made me these prosthetic teeth that were like yellow and they had the fangs. Yeah, and then on the day of filming, it was just one day of filming, they had me in the makeup chair for like 2 hours.
Far out.
And it was like they put, you know, when you see like those zombie or vampire characters that have got the protruding forehead and sunken cheekbones and everything. Yeah, they made me look like that. And then I had I was a tradie that had been bitten. So I was just wearing like high vis.
Yeah.
And it was really cool. It reminded me of like when, you know, you hear like Jim Carrey talking about when he got the grid makeup put on and stuff, and he's in that chair for like, you know, 8 hours a day or whatever it is. Yeah. So it was kind of like that. You just had to lay there and it was like kind of gross, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And then I think I'm probably in it. Someone told me they watched it and they said you could see me, but I'm in it for like maybe a second or two.
Yeah.
You know, because I had to like come running around. Like it was in a mine, in a Cooper Pedy mine, but they had built it in the studios here in Adelaide. So I had to come running around the corner like and then the main character just like stabbed me with a stake like straight away, you know. And I just died against the wall. Yeah. So I was like, it wasn't like, you know, a proper role or anything. I was just like a stunt man, like an extra.
Oh, wicked.
And and then the short film that I'm in recently, which is coming out soon, I believe. So there's an Adelaide-based band called Carolta Park, and they are actually opening up for the Foo Fighters when the Foo Fighters are doing their concert here in Adelaide in November. And so the Carolta Park band wanted to make a short film to promote their new EP because they're trying to obviously promote their music as heavily as they can while they've got this platform on the Foo Fighters concert as well. And a friend of mine who does all of my my promos and a lot of my social media content that's a little bit more high quality that I do for bookings and stuff like that. He was directing and writing and producing this short film, so he asked me to do it. And anytime I can do a favor for him, I do. So I just usually when he asks me to perform in something or whatever or help out with something, I just jump in and do it. But I had a really good time. It was fun, and I'm only in a couple of scenes, but I'm excited for people to see it, and it's good for me to sharpen my acting tools every now and again because I was actually en route to being classically trained as an actor when I was younger. I was at the Adelaide College of the Arts doing a theatre course there full time, and they asked me to leave after like one semester because I was too busy wrestling and all this sort of shit. And they were like, "Oh, he's more serious about wrestling than he is about acting," which was true.
Yep.
So the acting bug is kind of there and something that's always in the back of my mind. So whenever I get an opportunity, I take it.
Yeah, no, it's weird that they don't see wrestling as sort of like a pursuit in the arts and like you're on a show. These sort of institutions never see it that way, you know.
Yeah, well, I think they
with one now.
Yeah, they needed you, like, especially in the early sort of days of them kind of molding you. They want you there like you're there like 9 a.m. till 6 p.m. Monday to Friday.
Yeah.
So it was extremely demanding, and we had like movement class and voice class and singing class, and then we'd have like a 4-hour acting workshop every day, which was covering something different every different day. It was really interesting. I did, in hindsight, I really did enjoy my time there, but it was just too much. I was literally I'd go from school to the gym at like right after 6 p.m. And then I was trying to do wrestling training like 3 nights a week as well. Yeah. So it was all just too much.
Plate was very full.
And and acting training very different to wrestling training. Did they make you play that fucking zip zap zop fucking game and shit like that?
We did a lot of weird shit like that. Yeah. A lot of fucking weird, like a lot of weird movement things and like there's but like there's something to gain from a lot of it, and like a lot of it is just. Do you know what I kind of liken it to? Right? When you go to a wrestling school, think about how many different styles there are in the ring. Like, one day you might work on your grappling. Another day you might work on your lucha libre. Another day you're going to work on striking. Another way you're going to work on, certain suplexes and slams and things like that. So I just remember at that time seeing it as like, well, these are just different styles. They're just different subjects. And some people are just gonna refine your style after a while, and gravitate more towards that. But the more tools you have in the toolkit, the better.
Well, it was saying that. Let's finish it up with all the toolkit, all the tools in the toolkit you have. Tell some of those cornerstone companies when you're ready and why they should be booking you.
I mean,
they were booking you before, mate.
Yeah, I don't really care, to be honest.
I was going to the shows.
I don't.
You're one of the reasons I was going to the shows, brother.
Yeah, I know, but it's like I'll get there when I get there.
It's just not right now.
There's no fucking reason to try to make a case for anything. It's like if they want to use you, they're going to use you. Mm-hmm. So I'll just get back on the bike and I'm going to keep making the content, and we'll get over there when we need to. So
It. no deadly
We're really
rush on
enjoying
this.
the content.
You're working on yourself, on your physical. You're working on your mental. And when you're ready, you'll start to push back to where you need to be, and then they'll either go for it or they won't. And as long as you're up here, you're all good. It's all that matters.
Absolutely. I don't need to explain myself,
No.
Like I don't need to sell myself to anybody.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like it's like I'm doing that in my own kind of unique way. So I'm always down to come over to Perth. I'm always down to come over to Melbourne. I'm always down to come to Sydney, wherever, So whenever anyone's ready, if they'd like to have me, then just give me a call. That's it.
Yeah. And they know they're going to get quality, so.
That's it.
Yeah, well, that's it, yeah. Yeah, well, Ilia, it's been great to have you on.
Appreciate it.
I've got to say, thanks for coming on and being so open and honest with us. Telling us about your struggles and why you've turned that into actually helping other people. So, really, really great thing to come on and talk about. So, man, I really got to thank you, and always good to see you. Hopefully, we'll see you soon on some shows.
Thanks, boys. Appreciate you so much. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, too easy, man. And honestly, hopefully we see you in Perth again sometime soon, man. It'd be good to catch up. Or I'll bring my fucking ass over to Adelaide for us to catch up. Yeah.
Literally, whenever you're here, just shoot me a message, and we'll go get a coffee or something.
Sweet.
Awesome.
Done. All right, boys. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks, mate.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
You have a name, Rockstar?
Bindi.
Do you have a spare CV?
Fuck you think you're gonna do with that? Huh?
You can't be here.